This show is brought to you by Nice Mug. Nice Mug is the only mug made entirely out of ice. For more information, go to nicemug.com and enter the coupon code SAUNA for 10% off your entire purchase.
Well, hey everybody, it's Glenn with Sauna Times, and welcome to another installment of Sauna Talk, the podcast that is most oftentimes recorded on the sauna bench. It's certainly about sauna and all of the goodness that comes from the authentic sauna experience. And this episode is dedicated to everybody listening who has built their own sauna. The tie-in with this episode, believe it or not, I'm going to make the tie-in, is the DIY ethos, the idea of creating and building your own thing. And it's what better example of it than sauna? Sauna is an interesting thing in that you could call up 10 building contractors and say, I want a sauna. And I'm pretty much guaranteed that all 10 are going to be afraid to do it. So the obstacle becomes the way. The obstacle of finding someone to build a sauna for you becomes the way for you to build your own sauna. So, hey, we don't always have the time. We get it. We often don't have that innate passion to want to get out the hammer and nails and the building aspect. Hey, we get that. We understand. And that's okay because there are other ways. The DIY Sauna ebook is a gateway drug for people to embrace the concept of building their own sauna, and it's an attitude more than anything. I'm not asking listeners to go build their own. If it's not in your wheelhouse, you don't have the time, the money, the drive, what have you, but it's a starting point. So this is the dedication I want to give. I know there's a lot of people that have built their own saunas. I've helped many hundreds now build their own saunas through the DIY ebook, and nothing gives me greater joy than when I turn on my email in the morning and I get an email from someone out in Vancouver saying, hey Glenn, I got a question about flashing the stove and the vapor barrier and whatever. I take great joy in that. It helps me improve the ebook, and it makes for a better product. And we're building a community. We're building a community of people that understand the health and wellness benefits to sauna and are creating their own backyard retreats. And you'll hear that referenced in this Sauna Talk. So that was a way left turn. But the reason for the dedication is I'm super excited to bring you Scott Olson. And I'm telling you, when I was thinking about doing this podcast, he was like way up on my list as a guy that I would love to interview and have on Sauna Talk. And the main reason is because of the DIY ethos. I've been out to Scott's farm. I've seen what he does out there, the creator. Okay, he cut his teeth with Rollerblade. He brought Rollerblade to the world. Everybody knows that product. It's like the guy who invented Kleenex. I mean, here's a ubiquitous product that came from his mind through his hands to millions and millions of people. And I met Scott on the sauna bench. I had a mobile sauna that I built about a dozen years ago. It had to be 2016, so be about year maybe 2002, 3, 4, somewhere in there, about 15 years ago. Scott donated his time as part of a fundraiser, and I got the mobile sauna up at a lake in Maple Grove, Minnesota, as part of the fundraiser. And there I was sitting on the bench with a guy, and I'm like, wow, this is a good conversation. We're jumping through a hole in the ice and having a good time, just talking about nothing and everything. And finally, he takes off with his dog, and someone turned to me and goes, you know who that guy was? And I go, no, who? And he goes, oh, that was Scott Olson, the inventor of Rollerblade. And I'm like, damn. I said, I've always wanted to meet that guy, and sure enough, I did. And anyway, Scott found me through my sauna, through the mobile sauna. He showed up at the Lopet Cross Country Ski Festival at the finish line. He would track me down when I'd have my mobile sauna at different events, and we'd always have a great time. So anyhow, when I was thinking about this podcast, Sauna Talk, I really wanted to get Scott on the bench, and I'm super excited to bring him and our conversation to you guys. I hope you stay with us, and I hope you have as much fun listening to this as I did producing it for you guys. There is so much in here. If you have a little entrepreneurial side to you, I hope you enjoy so many of these great little tidbits of information that Scott shares with us about innovation and the idea of taking something to market. These amazing little tidbits really meant something to me. You'll hear about Scott's other projects that he's working on, including Skyride and Row Bike. You'll hear about the correlation with health and wellness and this common bond that we have about treating your body well and recreation, and how it does tie in with sauna. So I could go on and on. There's a lot in here, as I mentioned, and I hope you stay with us, as I mentioned, too. This is a real joy for me to bring you Scott Olson, inventor, a guy that lives full, and a guy who's not afraid to live.
So this isn't live then?
We're live and direct.
We're live?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Well,
it's gonna be live.
no, not live. Sorry, Scotty. No, this isn't live. I'm recording, but we will produce a show. But this is not live. Sorry about that. But you don't care. You're no stranger to a microphone, are you, Scott?
No, it's great to be just behind a mic because I'm having a hell of a bad hair day today.
Right on. Well, this is the great thing about sauna, and I have to tell listeners that it's a misty, cool, late October day here in Minneapolis, and true to form, Scott Olson arrived not in a motorized vehicle, but Scotty, tell the listeners what you arrived to my sauna in what vehicle?
Well, I had a few options tonight, but with the wet pavement and all the leaves on the bike path, I decided to take the Row Bike, the ROWBIKE, one of my very favorite inventions.
Right on. And who invented the Row Bike?
You're looking at him. Myself, it was my idea. I've had a lot of people help me get it to the market, a lot of different engineers, and it's been out there for 25 years now.
Yeah.
Maybe 20, 25 years that we've been making them, improving them, selling them, and just really enjoying it. It's really a fantastic workout, and it's great to be out moving in the, especially around the city lakes. We're out the, motorized trails and just on the bike trail.
Right on. And the thing about a row bike is you can conform to the bike trail system. And here in Minneapolis, we here are very fortunate in that Minneapolis is probably, if not the top, it's certainly top 2 or 3, ranks right up there in terms of urban biking. And so you're able to just jive right into that program, right, Scotty?
Oh yeah. No, it's a great place to live. And we bike all year round, and as much as I love skiing, I love biking, and obviously I love blading, and so my first choice is probably the row bike, then blading, then skiing. But with the wet pavement and all the leaves, it's got to stay out the blades for a little while yet.
Right on. And let's go back into that. I suppose if you were to Google Scott Olson and that, what you're going to find is Rollerblade. And the thing about, I got to tell you my Rollerblade story that I don't think I've ever told you.
No,
right on. I know you do. So Scott's got this big smile on his face. He's taking his shoes off. We're getting ready to sauna. We're going to bring the mic in the hot room so you guys won't miss a beat here. But so when Rollerblade was coming out, like in the rise, give me the years that you were talking, and I have a hunch early 80s in that, right? Like what is the pinnacle years from when you were prototyping to when you brought it to market and when things were starting to really forest fire in terms of growth? What years are we talking, Scotty?
Well, it goes back 1979. I was pretty much right out of high school, and I got wind of the idea. I'll set the story straight here. Once again, which I like to do all the time.
Right, and I know where you're going to go, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I have to interrupt you. This is why I love Minnesota, right? Because people are honest, and there's integrity, and the thing is like Ray Kroc, right? You know, he didn't invent the hamburger in McDonald's. He was the guy that franchised it and brought it forward. Right on? So you see where I'm going, and I didn't mean to steal the mic, but this is what I love about Scott Olson. He's going to set the record straight about Rollerblade right here.
Well, yeah, I was the guy that came up with the Rollerblade company. The inline skate, the generic term inline skates, they were invented before roller skates. A lot of people find that hard to believe, but it actually originated from ice skating, which was the very first form of skating, and that dates back to probably the 1600s. So the inline came out right after as the first roller skate, but the technology back in those days, it was either steel or wooden wheels, and in order to ice skate, you have to be able to hold an edge. And just like inline skating, rollerblading, you got to have a soft wheel to hold the edge so you can push and stride. So when that wasn't able to happen, that's when they introduced the quad, which I've always called the goofy skates, and that's what became popular. And then over the years, a lot of different people tried to come up with the inline idea because it was such a cool idea, but nobody was really able to make it happen until I really came around, and a lot of it had to do with me being in the right place at the right time, and the environment was really at the right time because of the hockey. It was really started because of hockey players, and Minnesota is really a hockey capital of the world.
Yes. Right. So here we had wonderful ice, outdoor ice, and a massive community of folks into hockey. And then what do we do in the off season, right, Scott?
Well, that was just it. We were trying to break. Before I got going on the rollerblades in '79, I was living in Canada pursuing a goaltending hockey career, and really working hard at that, but realizing the politics involved, because really the whole NHL was really being run by Canadians. Yeah. It was dominated by Canadians, and it wasn't until really the '80 Olympics, which was in my era. In fact, I tried out for the Olympic team, but that's what really got the Americans really going and getting into the NHL.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, winning those Olympics was a tipping point in that those players were like basically thrust into the NHL because they were not to be denied. Any coach that knew anything were looking at these guys like Langevin and all of the heroes. Jim Craig got a contract as goalie and all that. And any NHL coach would be a moron not to look at these guys as prospects, and they got NHL contracts right away, and that plowed the way for a lot of Americans at that point, didn't it?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I get goosebumps thinking about that '80 Olympic team.
We all do. We all do. The Miracle on Ice.
Yeah,
I remember that. If I could just interject, I was living in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, and the movie really captures it well about the spirit of the time, our country, oil embargo, hostages. We were shat on around the world, and it was a cold, dark winter. And that Olympic moment, and those young kids where they all jump up on the podium collecting the medal, I mean, that was a real binding moment for our country. And goosebumps is a great word.
Oh yeah, that was something to see those young kids. They were just kids out of high school.
Beating pros that were like in the army, Russian army, training for training as well as anybody, and in the odds of our Minnesotan, our coach, to mobilize these kids it was a miracle.
Yeah, well, that my buddy Herbie Brooks, he put it all together. Yeah. He was the man, he was the leader, and he had those guys going, and he had them all believing. So
right. So back to rollerblade. That was another input. I mean, hockey in 1980 was massive in our state of Minnesota and all of North America, and I think that maybe could have actually even helped. There was some fuel in the fire about the sport of hockey, the conditioning, and rollerblade.
Well, that was it. The kids all wanted to get better. They all wanted to make the NHL, and I happened to lay these blades out in front of them. I actually put them on their skates for them, and told them to skate on them, and it's going to help their skating.
Right on.
And then the coaches got behind it, but it was really the hockey guys that really got it jump started. And then it expanded into, more of a recreational skate, because it really is the only way to street skate.
Yes.
They go over everything. They're really safe. They're not like quads, where you're going to be hitting rocks. But so it really became the way to get around town, and
you could go fast.
You could go fast and be safe.
Be fast and be safe. So, as I promised to tell you my story that I had never told you in all our times together. And so, there I was in Buffalo, New York, 1981, graduate from high school, go to Ithaca College, upstate New York, 1983. Go study in London, and there I am overseas and exposed. We talked about reggae and music, and exposed to all this great British music and culture. And I just found, the world is small now. Like, the world is one. I mean, the internet and all that. There is no real innovation that can happen somewhere where you don't see it across a big pond because of the internet and stuff. But back then, my story, I bring a pair of rollerblades over to England in 1983, and it stopped traffic. I mean, it stopped people walking, it stopped people driving. It was like, and I heard about this guy in Minnesota. This is one of the reasons. I mean, there were all these weird inputs of how I ended up in Minnesota, and one of them was, this is a guy from Minnesota. And I go, man, I'd love to know this guy from Minnesota. And I had this inkling. I mean, I was a young kid. I was stupid. I was studying business, and I had a few ideas. I'm in the food business, and I wanted to. So I built a hot dog stand in London, and then I wanted to bring pretzels, like those hot pretzels you get at the hockey games. I wanted to bring those to pubs in England. So I was one of those guys spinning with ideas, but couldn't get the needle in the groove of the record. And one of the songs I wanted to play was To Find You, and to try to bring rollerblades to Europe at that time. So if you remember, if you could just humor me, like back to 1983, was there an international presence at all with rollerblade?
No, I think if you would have given me a call, you probably could have got the rights to Europe.
You're killing me. You're killing me. Can you imagine our relationship today had I made that phone call and I would have found you back then? I mean, it would have been pretty cool.
Well, that's how I got it going, because, a lot of when I first started peddling them, I went to all the hockey stores in town thinking we're going to sell them to all the hockey stores, and they all laughed at it. And so I had to change my sales approach like overnight, or I wasn't going to make any sales, and that's when I went direct.
Yeah.
And then
tell me about direct in that world. I mean, when you say direct today, it's a piece of cake with the internet. What was direct like for Rollerblade back then?
Well, it was really getting the hockey, going to the hockey players, and then finding the entrepreneurs within the hockey players. And a lot of athletes seem to have that entrepreneurial spirit. And so they were just popping out of the woodworks, and they were all like, every little town I went to, there'd be another guy that wanted to sell them, because you fall in love with them.
That's it. So a user became a sales agent.
Yes, exactly. And then that's what really helped me really get it to where it is today. It was those people. And then I had guys, I bet you I had 3 of my really good buddies that were really non-hockey guys. The first few years, all the way up to probably 83, were mainly hockey guys. And then cross-country skiers were starting to get into them. Bill Koch, the guy that invented skate skiing, he used to buy them from me, and he sold a bunch of them, and then more skiers started selling them. So
So Bill, in his day, he's the front runner, the inventor of the skate ski style.
Yeah.
Is he a Minnesotan, or where's Bill from?
No, he's from out east. Bill Koch, I'm not exactly sure where he was from. It's been so long. I'd sure love to run into him. In fact, I saw a really cool poster of him a few years ago up at Gear West, a big cross-country ski shop in Orono, or Long Lake. Bill Koch is skiing on a wet, sandy beach in Hawaii.
Cool.
Yeah, and it was like you looked at that and you go, that's got to be made up, but he actually did it. So anyhow,
yes, and not to interrupt you, but so what Bill recognized is the conditioning aspect, the overlap of skiing as it relates to skating, and then this conditioning element where you can do it on pavement. Is that about right?
Yeah. Well, he was, he totally revolutionized skiing. Because before he was doing, it was basically classic, like everybody had done until then. Yeah. And then now here Bill comes up with this method of skate skiing, and he's winning races. He's beating the Swedes, the Norwegians.
Yeah. About what year was that, not to put you on the spot? You got a clue about when that could have been?
He probably started that craze in 81, 82.
Yeah, so again, there's another input. I mean, when you think about those couple of years specifically as it relates to you and your life in pioneering rollerblade, you had the Olympics hockey team winning the gold medal.
Yeah. You
have Bill now with this alternative style, and you have the skiing element. You have Minnesotan and this ice hockey capital. And then in branching into these towns in Canada, a very logical progression through the pro skaters as your early adopters and opinion leaders and all that noise. And then the beautiful thing is recreation, I mean, just like when I think about Minnesota, so one more story for me in this now. So there I am over in Europe and stuff, and my buddy and I, it was 1985, 86. My buddy and I, remember drive-away cars? Do you ever remember that? Where this was a deal where you could, there were companies that would, they would take in vehicles that needed to be moved, private vehicles, and you would go into this little shop and then say, well, what do you got? And you look on the board, and there are these cars in LA, because it's such a transient area. That's where I was living right after college. Anyway, you look on the board, and I see a car that needs to be driven to Rochester, New York. Yeah, so I had my buddy from Buffalo come out, and we did this road trip across country, and it was June. It was about 5 a.m, and my buddy was he was crashed in the passenger seat. I'm driving, and I'm looking at the map, and I all of a sudden got really depressed because I'm looking at the map as I'm driving. I'm like, Des Moines, okay, what's next? Chicago, Detroit, Cleveland, Buffalo, all these like industrial Rust Belt towns back to my town. I'm like, there's got to be a better way. And it was almost like these angels spoke from above at 5 a.m. in the car when I'm looking at the map. Minnesota, Canada. And I go, what a great way. I said, so literally there's 35 north, and I'm like, I made that decision like right at a flash. Right at a flash. Really? My friend never woke up. We're in like Albert Lee, and he wakes up and he goes, well, are we in Chicago yet? And I go, no, man, change of plans. So the point is the car we parked it right at Lake Calhoun. There's an apartment building there now. And I'm looking at the map, and I'm just doing this by look. And I go, look at these lakes right in Minneapolis. We got to go check these out. And it was a June morning. I guess maybe it was about 10 a.m. Sunny, gorgeous. Yeah. And we parked the car. And you know how it is, Scotty, on road trips when your glasses are sliding down your nose and you got like this oil thin layer around you. So we just stripped down to our boxer shorts, and I'm doing the backstroke in the middle of Lake Calhoun, looking at the skyline, and around the shoreline, I see bikers and bladers and runners in a healthy town. and I fell in love. I fell in love with Minneapolis.
That was your first time seeing Minneapolis?
First time seeing it. And the car broke down in a very like serendipitous way. The car broke down. We were stranded in Minneapolis for 4 days. I stayed with my buddy Brad, who I went to college with. And he was living here. I called him up. There was a payphone. Now, listen, I could make this story really crazy, and I'm not sure if listeners are going to follow this or if they want me to, if they don't. But Kurt Hansen falls into this story. Oh, no. So we swam in Lake Calhoun, my Buffalo buddy John and I. Yeah. We're digging ourselves and all that. And then so we dry off, and we walk up to Lake in Hennepin because the car wouldn't start. So we got to find a payphone. So we walk up to Lake and Heaven. I walk into the Uptown Bar, and as a joke, I say to the bartender, "Have the Replacements ever played here?" And the bartender says, "Yeah, those are my boys. They're in that band."
Oh, really?
Yeah. It was Bobby and Tommy Stinson's mom who was the bartender there. Okay, and I'm looking at this stage, one of my favorite bands, another Minneapolis input. Yeah. And I'm like looking at this stage. I mean, I was a kid, and I was just like touching the stage, thinking how cool it was. One of my favorite bands in the world is playing there. Now, the weird thing is Kurt Hansen and his buddy were in that bar, and 15 years later, Kurt told me that story, and it was me. I never met him, but he overheard these two guys from Buffalo, New York, stranded in Uptown Bar.
Oh, cool! That's a great story.
It's a whack story, but sorry, listeners. Well, this is Sauna Talk, though. You can get crazy, right?
Yeah. That was a great story, but I don't know where we left off.
I was impressed about rollerblades at Lake Calhoun. I mean, this was like the number one market, and to see how ubiquitous it was in 1985, 86, it was another input.
Well, I've heard many stories where people actually moved to Minneapolis just so they could blade here.
That's an even better one.
Yeah.
I'd say I moved for the rollerblades.
Yeah. Oh, there has been people that have moved here for blading.
Yeah, I love it.
A lot of people have moved here just because it's a great place to raise a family. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a great reason to move to Minneapolis, but to come here because you love blading so much. But there's been so many great stories of the blades that it's always fun to hear other people's stories, and because it really has had a big impact on a lot of people.
Yeah, I know. It's just that is pretty cool, and you're a humble guy, and it's one of the reasons why I love you, man. I mean, it's not the first thing to come out of your mouth. You have to really, and you're very gracious to speak about it. It's a very personal thing, and you deserve all the accolade and pride that you have, but you don't go seek it, which is a really remarkably awesome thing about you.
Well, it's I don't like to live in the past, and I got to remind a lot of my friends when we're out and about, and they like to get carried away and like say, he's the rollerblade guy, and it's like, no, don't bring that up. I don't want people to judge me.
That's right. I know. I mean, I have a small little. I mean, I invented Killebrew root beer, but I don't go tooting my horn on that thing.
Well, I mean, Killebrew?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I'm in the food and beverage business, and it's a crazy story, but I did, and I'm not hooked in with them anymore, just like you're not hooked in with Rollerblade anymore. But you talk about that, and one of my expressions is like they make cars with windshields bigger than rear view mirrors for a reason. And those folks that are constantly looking in the rear view mirrors and looking at the past, I think really lose sight of the beauty and the wonder that's in front of them.
Oh, yeah, that's well put, very well put. Yeah, I've learned that, at a very young age, and I don't really even look ahead. Been very lucky to live that way. Yeah. A lot of people can't, so that's been one of the highlights of being an inventor and making some money to be able to do what I want to do, and that is to invent, innovate. I love doing it, and one of these days I'm going to just stop and watch the birds fly, but I've got some great ideas I've been working on, and it's just kind of in my blood. But the blades gave me a really good start, and I like to keep it rolling. Yeah, no, that's a great point, and to keep it moving down the road and in the future. And there's so many, you think, oh well, the computer, right? Where can it go next?
all the, we got e-commerce. It's all been invented. It's just staggering to think about where we've come in terms of, say, like innovation with the computer and where it's going to bring us. And it's the same like in your niche, like what I love about the things that you dabble in and what you've invented is there is like some wonderful continuity to it. And, you tell me, I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but recreation is a term that comes to mind. Do you like pale ales and stuff?
Yeah, I'm more of a furious guy.
Yeah, okay. Well, if you like furious, how about a saga?
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I know you're going to
hold that.
You like what I like. Yeah, you want a saga?
Yeah, if that's close to furious. Otherwise, I really don't drink beer.
Okay.
So I'll have that one. I'll try that one.
Okay.
And then they got a Canadian. That's a good looking brand.
Yeah. We support Molson Canadian. So I wrote this ebook on how to build your own sauna, and it's been really rewarding for me to work with to help people build their own backyard retreats, their own authentic saunas and stuff. And I work with a lot of Canadians. It's a wonderful sauna climate, and Minnesota is like almost Canada. We joke about that. Minnesota's like almost a Canadian state. So I love hockey. I love the topography of Canada. I think you're in the same boat. So having a Molson Canadian around's not a bad deal.
Oh yeah, it's one of the things that amazed me when I lived in Canada was you had to be sitting at the table in order to have a beer, and you could not go to the table 5 feet away from you to talk to somebody with your beer.
Was that right?
Yeah, you always had to stay at the table with your beer. Now, if you wanted to go across the room to visit with somebody, you had to leave it, and the waitress would grab your beer and bring it over to you.
So I wonder what's up with that. Is that a holdover from England or some sort of a like formal thing, or what do you think?
Stupidest thing. It was so stupid. But hopefully they've changed that. It was.
It's probably changed. Yeah, right on.
I haven't been back there in a while, but that was up in Manitoba where I was playing hockey and out in the middle of the plains, and it was So that was one of the things I remember about Canada, that and everybody seemed to be smoking cigarettes up there.
Yes, a lot of cigarette smoking. Yeah. I know, it's a crazy deal. And I'll let you get ready for sauna. We'll bring this in the hot room. But and I don't mean to be talking all this but
grab my
yeah.
suit right out here.
Yeah, okay. So I'll tell the listeners a quick story about cigarette smoking, and I know Scotty will relate to this, but, growing up in Buffalo, New York, the Buffalo Sabres were my team, and they came into the NHL in 71 maybe, and so I was like 10 years old, and so I started following the Sabres and stuff, and back then, in terms of cigarette smoking, it was not unreasonable for the players to light up a steamer between periods. Especially these French Canadians, right? Did you experience any of that?
Yeah. That blew me away when I saw that happen.
I know. You think of that.
Gump Worsley'd have a smoke between periods.
Right.
You probably had to, being a goalie and not wearing a goalie mask.
Yeah, he was a nervous critter. Wasn't also was Gump the one that just could not do away games? He would get too nervous, and he would actually only be able to
play home games. That wouldn't surprise me. I think he was. I don't think he really liked flying either.
That's right. I think that's what that was.
He'd always stay home or take a train if he had to go away.
Yeah, that's right. He would be good on like Chicago. He could go play at the Chicago games, but shit, if you had to go out and play the California Golden Seals, I think he'd stay home on that one.
I mean, can you imagine playing goalie without a goalie mask?
It's a nervous thing. Well, okay. So is there? Back to innovation and stuff, and is there a commonality to your inventions in that they are recreational based? Would you say? Yeah. Would you say?
Oh yeah. My all my stuff pretty much. Most of it is fitness related. The row bike.
Yeah.
And then what else do I got?
Well, we're going to do this list here. We're going to step in the hot room.
Oh, baby.
And yes,
it's
sauna time.
Wow.
Yeah, somebody's happy we're taking a sauna right now. Yeah, well,
I've
describe.
been waiting to do this for a long time.
Yeah,
man.
I know.
Now I know where you live. I got lost a couple times getting here. And jeez,
Yeah.
I can't even follow my GPS. That's how I think.
I know.
I watch it and I go backwards. I go the opposite way. It's
You're an analog kind of guy, aren't you,
I
Scotty?
just look at things backwards all the time.
And I can tell, and that's what I love about you. Another reason why I love you is your, and I don't mean to throw you under the bus with this one, but your texting is sporadic, right? And I've called, and your voicemail has been full, and I think people that know you probably accept that, huh?
Oh, I don't do that on purpose.
No, I know you don't.
Yeah.
I know. That's why, I say it good-naturedly. I mean, you use technology probably in a different way than the average bear. It's just my guess.
Yeah, I don't use it that much. I try to stay away from it at times, and I'm quite happy without it. And so I like bringing my phone along only because I like to listen to my music a lot of the times.
Yeah. So what's on your? How do you listen to music on your phone? What program do you use? Or
I usually I just downloaded bought into the new Apple Tunes. You know,
Apple Tunes. So you can stream anything you want anytime.
it seems that way. Yeah, I haven't gotten into it completely.
So what did you listen to today? Say, like on your way over, what kind of music? What were you listening
Well,
to?
today I really didn't listen to any music today that I can think of, and there's because when I go to the farm, and I live on a farm, I kind of like the quietness of that, and there wasn't anybody out there, so I just didn't really play any music.
Yeah.
And then I got the luxury of driving a Tesla, and I find myself more often not listening to anything, because when you drive around in a Tesla, it is so quiet that I guess I just love the quietness. I'm getting, the older I get, the more I'm against noise, not music. So, but I really enjoy just the peace and quiet. But I'm a big classical music guy. I love listening to a lot of classical.
Yeah. Like tell for me, like Mozart kind of stuff.
Oh yeah. Anything. I don't really have a real big playlist. I just whatever I find on the 99.5 NPR has a
wonderful public radio station in Minneapolis. 99.
I love that, and so but then I love I saw one of my favorite CDs you had laying out here, the Van Morrison Hymns to Silence. I'd play him on Sunday. He's kind of spiritual, so maybe on Sunday I'll play him.
Yeah. So is Van Morrison your Sunday music artist? Is that or do you have that? Do you generally play that genre on Sundays?
Yeah, I if I listen to music, I'll put Van on Sunday because he's real spiritual.
Yeah, well said.
So and he's got so much good music, and then. Yeah. And then, of course, it goes on and on. I've become a big Dylan fan. But I'm open to new music too. We're going to the down to listen to a band tomorrow night at First Avenue. Mm-hmm. That's going to be. I've been told it's going to be a dancing band because I love to dance.
Great.
So I'm going to go down there and see if I can shake it up a little bit.
Yep. And you like international stuff? You like reggae?
Oh yeah. You can't get enough of reggae.
Yeah, man.
yeah. I mean that's what's been great with the internet too. I've been hearing old reggae music that I've never.
80s reggae, right?
Yeah. I mean it's just you can't get enough of it. It's just so great.
Yeah. Great production, great sound.
Yeah.
Just really, really crisp. Drum and bass.
Yeah, no, that stuff takes you to another place.
Yes, it does. It's good sauna music too. I like a lot of like King Tubby, a lot of instrumental dub from that era.
King Tubby, you're gonna have to turn me on to him.
Yeah, we'll put on some King Tubby.
Yeah, I haven't heard of him. I'm sure you got probably a wider range of reggae than I do.
Not necessarily. I mean, I just it's something I got exposed to, pretty deeply being in England, just immersed in it, and But anyway, that's really neat, Scotty, about music. You know, you and I share a lot of that common thing. I mean, my brother and I call Van Morrison our desert artist. You know, like if a desert island artist, like if you were stranded on a desert island and could only have one artist's material.
Oh yeah, that's your guy.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Oh, cool.
It's hard to beat because you nailed it. I mean, he's a spiritualist.
Oh yeah, I mean every album he's put out, for 20 years he put out an album like every year.
Yeah,
and
super
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, even his current stuff in the late 90s and stuff were just really well done.
Right on. So, Scotty, this is Sauna Talk, and it's so wonderful to talk to you about.
Feeling it.
Yeah. We're sitting in the wood burning sauna, and it's damp out, and this is round one. And what's your growing up in Minnesota? What if you look back? What is your first recollection of sauna for you?
Oh, good question. Growing up, I can't really recall.
Was it a big part of your family or your childhood, or was it just something you did maybe at going to cabins and kind of that?
No, you know what? My dad built one in the basement when I was
whereabouts
in high school. When I
St. Louis Park.
My last year in high school, my dad built a house out in Bloomington.
Okay.
And he built the damn thing all by himself.
Nice.
And to think that he had the time to put a sauna in.
Yeah.
And he did.
Yeah.
And that became a really great spot. And I have a lot of great memories. Now I'm going back to that.
Sweet.
Because that
was
really fun.
Knowing you, I would guess some of the great memories involve sauna after recreation. Maybe after some, outdoor hockey game, or maybe when you were doing some sort of recreation, and then instead of the shower you hit the sauna, right?
Yeah, well, I was a big before I touch on the bandy in Scandinavia. Now going back, you got me going back now, but we had a cabin. I grew up with a cabin in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and a lot of the folks up there had saunas on the lake. So I remember, firing up that wood stove, and then the lake was right there, and that makes it even better, because I love the water.
Yes.
But to get in that sauna and then to know that you got a lake ready to jump into.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. And then when I went to Scandinavia back in the late mid '80s playing bandy over there, they were everywhere.
Yeah, they were everywhere and interwoven in the culture. So, and plus, first of all, everybody in Scandinavia saunas, you got that going on. But everybody plus one that skates in Scandinavia saunas. It's like, right there, interwoven. And so when you would have like a practice or even a bandy match, would sauna be part of the post?
Oh yeah, I can remember a bunch of games over there where we, you'd hang out after the game for a while, and you'd hang out with the other team, and they always had saunas in the locker rooms.
Yeah, right.
So it was a great way to really get to know everybody, and
sure.
And it felt good, on the muscles after a really hard skate.
Yeah.
So that was really nice, feeling it that way.
Totally, Scotty. And you and I met actually in a sauna. I had my mobile sauna. It's got to be a dozen years ago, maybe longer, 15. And we were up on a lake in Maple Grove, sitting on a sauna bench. And the thing about sauna that's so awesome and that you listeners know is, if you have a sauna and there's strangers like in the hot room, hey, it's perfectly cool to sit quiet for a little while, and it's perfectly cool to strike up a conversation. And all of a sudden, I struck up a conversation with this guy on the sauna bench in my mobile sauna that was part of a fundraiser, a Polar Plunge fundraiser. And we had a post-sauna party. Remember that?
Yeah, I do now. Yeah, that's when we first met, huh?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was up in Maple Grove at that, what was it? I forget that lake. But there, hey, what's your name? I'm Scott. And then, I didn't want to bug you, but I really wanted to tell you my story about being in England. And I just can imagine everybody's got their story as it relates to Rollerblade. And to connect with you after all those years when was over there and wanted to meet you. It was really cool, you know. But listen, I'm not trying to put you on a pedestal. We had a great time, and we didn't talk shit about Rollerblade that day. It was a great sauna.
Yeah, no, I remember that day. That was a really beautiful winter day, and be able to jump in that lake and help those guys raise. I'm not sure what the fundraiser was for, but it all goes to a great cause.
Yes, and it did. And you brought those penguins.
Oh, the penguins, yeah.
So cool.
My penguins.
Was that a side project?
That was a unrelated fitness product.
An unrelated fitness product.
That's the right terminology.
That is a wonderful one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like that replacement song, "Garbage Man," where you janitor. Gotta get this line right. It's something like maintenance engineer is a garbage man, and waitress in the sky, you know, is an airline stewardess.
How many albums those guys put out?
Out of 5, maybe 5 or 6. But that one was from Tim. But anyway, I love that line because it's you enhanced what that was. That's funny. That's good. But yeah, and then we've saunaed quite a bit. You followed me around with that mobile sauna and at the finish line of the Lope.
Yeah, that was a great time over at the finish line at the Lope. But yeah, that's got to keep going.
Well, it's great. It's great. It is keeping going. I'm on the steering committee of the 612 Sauna Society. There's an active Kickstarter campaign, Scotty, and we've raised $22,000. Our goal is $30,000, and we're only like, a quarter of the way in. We got about 25 more days. So I'm working with John Peterson. He's the CFO, the Chief Firewood Officer, and really the main dude on 612 Sauna Society. And I'm collaborating with John on the build. And I'm real excited about it because we're going to be building the next mobile sauna, this mobile sauna for 612 Sauna Society, and we're using the chassis of an ice fish house. And you know these ice fish houses. Have you ice fished?
Oh, yeah.
You know, the technology on these things are amazing now with the wheels that retract. And so you go down to grade and stuff, and they're really well insulated. So we're going to be rolling that thing around town here as soon as December 1.
So that's what you're going to build, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Excellent.
An 8x20, so a really generous space, an 8x10 hot room, and an 8x10 changing room.
Oh, wow. That'll be fantastic. And we can just put it right on the lake and then just cut a hole in the ice, and there's, boom, right there.
Boom, right there. Yeah.
Like instead of the fish hole, you got a little jump-in pool.
That's it.
Holy shit, that'll be awesome.
That is going to be fun.
You got to give me a link to that so I can spread the word on that.
Okay, we'll do this, and I'll put it in the show notes. And appreciate that. You know, this is the rising sauna tide is lifting many boats. Omar from the founder of Surly is very enthusiastic on the project.
Excellent.
And we're going to have the sauna on site at the brewery. I believe December, January kind of thing. I'll let you know the dates.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So we're mobilizing. I mean, what you and I experienced in that 8x12 in the day was, call it mobile sauna 1.0. But now with the 612 Sauna Society and all the wonderful work that JP has done in this community that is being built, this cooperative that we're developing, thanks to John and his effort. I mean, we have a critical mass of people that are into the authentic sauna experience right here in Minneapolis.
Oh, wow, that's going to be a great event. You'll be able to go to all kinds of different venues with that thing.
Yeah, and this is really fun for me too because I wanted to build my own mobile sauna 2.0, but I tell you, it's just tough being a lone soldier in this mission here of bringing saunas around to events. But now we got a team. We got a whole crew of people that are totally into it, and so I'm just overjoyed that this is going to happen. And this sauna I envision will be one of a fleet. I mean, we're going to not stop with one. You know?
Oh yeah. No, you'll be making money with that thing.
Yeah, and building awareness.
What are you going to charge for if somebody wanted to have you come to the event?
I think it's $20. Hey, do you need a shower?
I want to get you got the garden hose out here?
Yeah, it's perfect. We're going to take a break, folks, and we're going to end round 1, and we'll be back at you.
Yeah, got to get the hose.
Yeah, you're going to like this setup. So
me and the water, I've always preached that,
Me too. Well, we finished kind of like 2 rounds. Scotty likes the back and forth. We took cold showers, and I wanted to hang outside and have a beer on the patio, but he goes, let's go back in. So we went in and hit another round. And we're talking music, right? In the background, you hear some Rod Stewart. And I was going to tell you, Scotty, the music streaming services, I actually like Rhapsody better than the Spotify. But I'm really excited. I'm going to try the one you're on, the Apple one, right? Apple Stream, I think. Yeah. And so what I want, and you're kind of just doing it a little bit, right?
Yeah. I haven't really figured it out completely.
Okay, so I want to put this on record right now. If you forget, you got to go back to Sauna Talk and listen to this, because I'm going to challenge you to just do one thing. It's really simple. 1, on a piece of paper, write down 4 albums, okay?
Yeah.
2, go over to your Apple Play and pull up those albums one at a time and put them on a playlist. And call the playlist like whatever you were doing when you wrote down those 4 albums, like In the Barn Welding Skyride or whatever. Just come up with a wacky playlist name. Yeah. Then you go over to the playlist and hit shuffle. And what you'll get is like a really nice mix, like 4 hours of music, maybe a little more. And what I like to do with my shuffle is, like you mentioned Van or Dylan, I'll pick one of those kind of albums, like call it a blue chip, like one of those. Yeah. And then you throw a left turn in there, like a reggae album is great. We were talking about some of those. Yeah. You go find like a Half Pint album, or we talked about maybe King Tubby, you want to hear that. Yeah. Anyway, just pull out a reggae album. So now you're there too. You got a blue chip and a reggae. And then maybe you're on the Current, or you went to some show with like a new band, like, I don't know, like Alt J or one of these millennial bands that are traveling around. So something new, right? And then, Wild Card, something like that. Now you got like a really cool, like, shuffle for yourself.
Oh, I love that idea, because I like when I like it. Sometimes my iTunes or my music starts to shuffle. I don't know how it started.
Okay. Oh, that's great.
I love it.
Yes.
And it's like, and I look at those symbols. I'm going, which one is shuffle? I can't figure that out. You think by now I would have figured that out, but
no, I know. They take on a life of their own, don't they?
So I do like the idea of the shuffle of going through all my music. So
4 albums at a time. That works for me, and I do that with sauna. Like, so here's a wonderful real example of that. Like, if I'm like flying back from Chicago and I'm sitting on the tarmac waiting around, and I got like a linear path in my brain about when the flight lands and when I get home and when I'm going to step into round 1, like that time frame I minimize. I'm like, I'm a beeliner. Get home, get rid of my shit, And then one of the things is I'll jump on Spotify or what I'm music, and on the plane I've written my 4 albums, and I save it. I say like Sauna After Chicago 11/1/95 or something like that. Anyway, they're really cool to go back to when you have these album shuffles.
Yeah. Well, that's great advice. So I'm gonna do that and see where it takes me.
Well, all right. Sorry.
You know what music does, man. It just makes you go.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Makes you motivated. There's certain music I like to listen to when I'm working out, but I'm gonna look forward to that. That band tomorrow night. That'll be one of my albums that I'll put in with Van and Dylan and
then a reggae album.
Yeah.
All right. So we were taught. What else? I'm gonna tell you. I really want to. I was really inspired when you sent me that video of Skyride, which I want you to just share a little bit, summary of what it is for those not familiar, and then I'll explain the video because I thought it was great, and thanks for sending that along. So what is Skyride?
Well, Skyride has been an idea I had for many years. Maybe came up with the drawing 20 years ago. A buddy of mine drew it up, and it's basically a monorail fitness machine with the goal of really marrying the fitness industry to the amusement ride, and more specifically more specifically the roller coaster product. I want to really make
borrowing from that element.
Yeah.
Some of the excitement.
Yeah, totally. Not just making it fun. It's like what you just said, making it exciting.
Yeah.
So
once again, what you're having here are these inputs, right? You talk about these multiple inputs that have influence and help create the product.
Yeah. So it all started out with this idea I had one time, 20 some years ago, and then putting it down on paper with a really cool drawing that a buddy of mine did in a matter of minutes.
Yeah. Was that over a cocktail?
No, I don't think it was at that time. Because
it was sit down, nuts and bolts.
Yeah.
Do this for me.
Yeah, we were working together that day. I can remember the day. He was out at the farm, and it was a young guy that just started working with me, and he loved to draw. And
I met him. Because how many years ago was I out at the farm there with your prototype that he was monkeying with? I mean, that's got to be at least 10.
Different guy.
Well, that was a different guy.
Yeah.
This has got to be 10 years ago when I came out and saw it, wasn't it?
Well, I hope it wasn't that long ago.
Well, let's see. I can remember.
I'm thinking of like maybe 6.
Okay. So Nate loved that, by the way. I texted Nate and I said, "Hey, Scott's coming over for Sauna Talk." He does have a question for you, by the way.
I was hoping to run into him.
Yeah. He's out at a buddy's, but
he's
but
not doing
right. No. He made sure he clarified with me he's all caught up on his homework. Now he's going to see his buddy.
Oh, good.
And I think that's all right.
He gets his work done.
That's it. Totally. But the story is we had a wonderful day. My youngest, Nate.
We had a big party out there, and we had a whole bunch of people out. That's when I first really kind of unveiled the whole sky ride.
And it was fall. It was about this time of year. It was October. And I got to say, and I'm going to try to help you on a date on that, because Nate came out, and he must have been 9. So it was 8 years ago. Call it 8 years.
How do you know he was 9?
I don't, I'm guessing.
Maybe he could have been 12.
Okay. Well, in my own mind, he seemed 9. So maybe it was about 6 years ago. 6 to 8 years ago.
Not a big deal. It was a long time ago.
Big deal. Not important to the story when it was. But it does date the development, because you said you had the idea 20 years ago. You got some great drawings. And then what?
To be a little farther ahead. That's why I don't like to think that it was that long ago. I'd like to think that we had a bunch of installs, instead of just a couple.
Right.
And one huge one.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm very patient, and I know things, take quite a while. So it's really good to be patient
and maintain the focus.
Yeah, and then at the same time, be able to turn it off.
Oh, okay. So turn it off. When you say that, Scotty, would you say that would be more important to be able to turn it off in terms of like hours or days or weeks? Like what is a good amount of time when you need to turn it off?
Well, I guess it's whenever you feel like you need to.
Yeah.
A lot of people get going and they just drive right through it.
Yeah, they keep banging the rock the same amount of time every day.
Yeah, and it's whatever turns you on, I guess. I mean, a lot of times they're maybe pounding the pavement every day, every minute, because they got to get it done to get the paycheck.
Well, there you go. But I think that changes then the pace in the feel of innovation. It becomes pressured.
Yeah. Well, then pressure's not good for your health either.
Oh, it's not good for your health. But is it like this is the Steve Jobs thing? I mean, he applied pressure to get results. So he squeezed people, and I'm sure there was a lot of unhealthy people in the development of the iPad and all that, Yeah. But that was his mode, man, wasn't it?
Yeah.
If you went to him, can you imagine reporting to Steve Jobs and say, "Hey, I got to turn it off for a week. I'm going to go rock climb." I mean, do you think he'd like that?
Well, he's the boss, so I was referencing, the boss, the innovator.
The innovator can turn it off.
Yeah.
But the guys in R&D better keep their feet on the gas pedal.
Yeah, they gotta be able to get away. You can't drive your people that hard either. Sometimes you gotta let things kind of take its own course too. But there's there's no really written plan or rule on making something successful, and that's been my philosophy with Skyride, is that I'm not going to take it that serious because I have with a lot of my other ideas, and nothing's ever come from them.
Yeah.
You know.
So with Skyride, you took a different, attitude about it.
Yeah.
You weren't going to rush it.
No, I didn't want to rush it. I wanted to kind of do it on my time, my terms, and as I tell everybody, we're just beginning, and we're letting the entrepreneurial gods, give us the direction.
So you're you're welcoming entrepreneur input to the product.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love bringing in anybody that really wants to help direct it or help give it the vision or help build it.
So how do you balance that that with the idea and that adage of everybody's got an idea, like ideas are easy, it's the executing that's tough. Here in a way you're kind of flipping it around, and that you're looking for ideas as it relates to this innovation. You're not because if we were at a bar right now and started talking, you're going to get 50 ideas.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how do you filter that, like the real entrepreneur that wants to add value versus just someone that just wants to talk?
Well, you kind of filter it by giving the guy your card, maybe your number, and say, hey, if you want to work on it or talk about it, some more, give me a holler,
Right. And then that's a filter right there.
Yeah, that's a filter. But then again, I've talked to people where it's like, okay, I want to get that guy on my team.
Yeah.
I want to get him motivated to build what he's dreaming.
Okay, so in that situation, what do you do?
Well, and this happens quite a bit with me because I like a lot of ideas. I like the guys that can actually produce it. If they got an idea, and I think it can help Skyride or any of my inventions, I'll ask them, you want to build it? And I'll pay you to build it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a clearer understanding then that you're not going to just free ride this guy. You want to pay him for his time, and then you work out a price that you're fair on, right?
Oh yeah. I like to. Obviously, it's got to go both ways, but more than most times, I usually let the individual tell me what they want.
As a starting point.
Yeah.
And if it's too much, then you just be honest about that.
Yeah, and then maybe I got to walk from it.
Yeah. Say not now, or maybe we'll talk again, or whatever.
Yeah, and then the other way I like to operate too is really, with my history of making things happen. And obviously not all my ideas have been money makers, but at least they've gotten to the market where a lot of guys, inventors, they don't get that far.
Yeah.
So
it's a big step in the process, isn't it? Getting it on a shelf or getting it to market, like you're saying.
Getting it on the shelf is key, and then there's no guarantee at that point.
Now you're in.
Never a guarantee.
No, there's never a guarantee. Now you're in a new chapter in terms of innovation, right?
Yeah, merchandising.
Yeah.
And marketing.
Yeah, amen.
Marketing, merchandising, selling.
Let's hold on that. I want to go right back to that spot, but I want to back up a second about collaborating with people and stuff. One elephant in the room question on that is you're paying. So the guy's got an idea to advance the ball. You say, great, let me pay you to build it, and then that's all cool. And then let's say he builds something that actually moves it. How do you manage getting in the idea of like who owns what, ideas, and then making sure everybody's cool? So, that ugly word litigation, if a kid thinks he's owned something, how are we doing that?
Yeah, that's very good question. I've been in that position a handful of times, even with a lot of experience behind me. Yeah. You try to get I'll just have somebody maybe spell out what they really want to get out of the deal. Yeah. Because sometimes somebody will want to invent or innovate and make the idea, and they may not want money, but a piece of it.
Yeah.
So it's really then we'll write up a deal and say, hey, okay, if this thing happens, you'll get X percent.
Do you use a lawyer, or do you write your own terminology to that?
I kind of do it on my own, but if the other person wants to get a legal opinion or have a lawyer draft it up, I tell them go for it.
Okay, so you seem to me to have a great balance there between not rushing the process, but being very professional to the process of collaborating and bringing in people.
Yeah, well, collaboration, I think, the more minds you have into an idea, maybe a better chance of succeeding with the idea.
So if someone wanted to come to you and thinks they have an idea to, say, advanced sky ride, what would most attract you? Just I'll pay me and I'll build this, or I'm really looking for a little skin in the game if I can bring this to the table. If you had to pick, which one of the two are you more comfortable with or looking for more?
I guess it all depends on what they want to bring into the idea. I think if it's a game changer, then
you're going to need to know that up front, because that's the only way you can negotiate.
Yeah, because I got to know, I got to know what they're thinking I haven't already done.
Yeah, that's another one. Yeah. Can you imagine? I've been there. That's why I'm just cracking up.
Yeah.
You must be like, Scotty, I mean, in all fairness, you must, I can imagine you sitting behind the table and someone's spewing this like massively awesome thing, and they're just like spinning their wheels like in a big way, in an enthusiastic way.
Yeah.
But here you are thinking to yourself, this guy's talked for 8 minutes and he isn't telling me anything I don't already know.
Oh, yeah, I hear that a lot.
I mean, that's got to be the worst, because you're a nice guy, but you don't want to tell this guy, fast forward, been there, done that, because you're waiting for the magic.
Yeah, and at the same time, you got to kind of hear him out too, because maybe there's a little different twist to it.
Yes, very good.
Different twist too. So, like I've always said, you can't underestimate anybody and what they're doing and what their ideas are. But I've been in a situation where I've had an inventor propose to me in a meeting that if he could make my skate, I was inventing a new kind of a rollerblade, and he said, if I can make that thing twice as good, will you let me have half of it? And I had put a lot of time and money into this design of this skate idea, rollerblade.
Okay.
Not the rollerblade, but another idea of a inline skate. Yeah. And I thought about it, and I thought, holy shit, yeah, I'd probably go for that.
Right.
And then.
Do you remember what year this was?
Well, that was probably early 90s.
Okay, so the product was well advanced at that stage.
Well, yeah, and I was out of the rollerblade company at the time.
Okay, we talking Switch It?
Well, it was Switch It, and then I was out of that business too, because my partner in that business, who was a guy that invented the penile implant, took over that business, and then I was out of the skating business, but I didn't want to get out of it, so I came up with another idea, and that was the one idea that this guy came to me and said, if I can make that thing twice as good, can I have half of it?
Right, because half wasn't a lot, because this was a new thing. It was a good deal in your mind as you processed the offer.
I thought it was a good deal. It was kind of down the road, so it did change it quite a bit. So unfortunately, we ended up getting it on the market. We put about $2 million into the idea called New Skate, and great skate, great concept, but it bombed.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah, and the guy that gave me the idea actually developed it and helped bring it to the market too. Sure. And but his vision was to have it perfect. I mean, the boot had to be perfect, and it was like, you know what? It doesn't need to be perfect. Yeah. We'll get it better as we get it on the market. The concept's great. Yeah. Let's just get it out there. Yeah. Don't keep spending money to make it perfect.
Yes, right. One of the expressions I love is that I don't know if it's an expression, but when you like imagine in archery, you're standing there and your arrow is 100 yards from the bullseye, right? Okay, but here's the twist: is you can only shoot the arrow halfway each time. So now imagine, and this is about innovation and stuff. So imagine you're 100, what did I say, 100 yards or 100 feet?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, so say 100 feet. So your first line of innovation takes you halfway there, right? And you're all pumped because you're halfway to the bullseye. The second thing takes you halfway there, right? But when you're trying to get perfection, after like 2-3 swings at the bat, the customer isn't going to see the incremental 50% as you're so close to the bullseye. And I think back to what you're saying about this guy is like he wanted this perfect boot where it was good enough. You were so close to the bullseye, just go.
Yeah, it really was. And but the guy was so adamant about it that I just finally walked away thinking, go ahead and do it. Because maybe he can do it. Yeah. I had enough of it.
Right on. Yeah.
And
that's the danger of partnerships, though. Isn't it?
Yeah, and it didn't. I mean, we're still friends, and we've done some other ideas together. But I just thought he took it a little too far, and that was one of the reasons why it didn't succeed. But who knows? It may not have succeeded anyhow.
Yeah, there you go.
So it was a good try. We tried hard. We worked hard at it.
Yeah, right. And the thing about working hard at something like that is it's not like you put in 100, and if the project doesn't work, you've lost 100. You only lose some of that because you've learned so much that you can apply to something else.
Well, that's true. Hopefully it doesn't get you kicked out of the house and you lose your family.
You hear those horror stories. I mean, the Shark Tank culture is created, which we'll talk about if you want, has created this thing like they beating into people how great entrepreneurialism and go fight your dream and quit your job and, go buy inventory and you can do it. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of I think it's a toxic kind of message to be sent.
That's what they're promoting on Shark Tank?
No, I'm not saying that. I do. I say that could be a byproduct of what they're promoting is this ethos of go for it, mortgage your house, da da da. And you'll see some of the guests on Shark Tank that are upside down, and their business is so cash, vulnerable, and they got debt and they're trying to get inventory. That growing. You lived a growing pain like that, I'm sure, where you needed capital.
Always, yeah, but
always,
yeah. You got to go hard. Definitely, it takes everything. That's what I tell everybody when they get into business with a product and an idea that, it's got to take everything you can throw at it. Yeah. And that's why it's great to do it when you're. Have a couple kids at home and a mortgage, you got to have a lot of flexibility to get something launched. Okay. Some people get lucky and maybe do it. I'm sure there are guys that have been lucky and been able to do it. But
they can spin the plates without dropping them. Family, parent, maybe day job, and the project. It's a very delicate dance.
I don't know if I've ever met one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever met one, but I've sure met a lot of guys that that tell you they were at their last dime. Yeah.
It's a tough spot.
Everything. So and a lot of guys have lost everything. I've met a lot of guys, a lot of entrepreneurs, inventors that have lost everything. Wow. And
family, house.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people I've run into, and with great ideas.
Wow.
Great ideas, If I was a multi-zillionaire, I probably would have invested in a bunch of these ideas, Yeah. But for some unknown reason, it didn't happen.
Right. And there's a lot of reasons. I mean, as the arm is long, the list is long of how you can go from idea to, debt, to anger, to break down a family. Now you're bankrupt. I mean, it's like that road. It can be quite slippery.
Oh, yeah, it could. It's great to hear the stories. And I'm thankful that I was able to really make it happen and walk away with some money. Yeah. So I could keep doing it. Yeah. So I've been very lucky that way. Because it's really tough to do it without the money, but the money's out there, but that's a full-time job too. When you're trying to raise money for projects.
And like we referenced earlier, it takes the eye off the ball. If you think you need to raise money to develop a product, it changes the focus. It's just what you were talking about before.
Well, yeah, you could spend all day, all night, all week, all months and months raising money. Oh, I've been there.
And that's where a lot of the blood in the water can be.
Oh, and that's where the sharks are. That's
Yeah.
where the blood is in the water.
Yeah, and they show up in suits.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, the black suits.
They all gotta. I mean, because they gotta get paid.
Yeah. Well,
Lawyer, finance guy.
Yeah, they wear the suit and tie. They got the facade that they're like important and they know everything, and
That's it.
and they don't know it.
No.
They may have been lucky and got some money, but
They-
they don't know it until they had to go out and do it.
Amen. And their job is to make the deal more complicated,
Yeah, yeah.
more papers.
Yeah, so that's what I've been very fortunate about with my ideas now is that I don't have to go and find these guys.
Yeah. But you touched on something earlier, and I want to shed a little bit of light on say the entrepreneur at home that's just struggling to raise a family, blah blah. That environment, the obstacle is the way, and it comes back to what you said about sometimes you gotta. Or it's an important quality is being able to shut it off. So innovation can work in an environment by necessity. The entrepreneur or whatever needs to shut it off because he's got to go change some diapers. He's got obligations, and so maybe in a positive way, these ideas need time to develop, and it's when people can afford the time is when there's advancement, and then they shut it off every time else.
Well, that's nice. That's a great scenario. But then in the back of the mind of the inventor or the entrepreneur, let's say, is that they know that somebody might beat them to it.
Oh, amen.
So
they
then
feel
you got-
that heavy breath on their shoulder.
Yeah. So you got that always gnawing
Anxiety.
idea that oh God, I got to get this done because it's such a great idea. But I was fortunate enough with the rollerblade idea, which was one of my first ideas that I launched. Was that I was always amazed that the big guys didn't jump on sooner.
Yeah, I hear that a million times. I mean, you read stories like that
Yeah.
when the perspective of the innovator is so different. You see the light. I mean, you've processed this whole thing. And then you go to the marketplace, like the guys, the gatekeepers, and they're just like numb.
Yeah.
They don't see it. Yeah?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've experienced that with the rollerblades. The companies I called on in the early days were the companies that were buying into it later.
Yes.
Or developing the product later when I laid it right out in front of them.
Yeah.
What more do you need than having, the NHL using them, the Edmonton Oilers endorsing them, Herbert
Yes.
Brooks and the U.S. ski team endorsing it, and the cross country team endorsing it. What more do you need to know that it's for real?
That's right.
And they all walked away from it.
Right. The suits or the corporate people?
The big corporate like Bauer, talking more specifically the rollerblades, and the big ski companies, Nordica, looked at it. Well, they paid, millions, $500 million to buy it from Negley.
Oh, that's
They
amazing.
could have got it from me for next to nothing.
You would have just been happy to get a job.
Yeah, I would have been happy with that.
Well, you wouldn't have been that dumb. You would have struck some deal with some skin
yeah.
in the game. Right?
Yeah, I would have got a royalty on it, and
Would you have brought in a suit to
yeah,
negotiate that?
yeah,
Okay.
if I had to.
You probably would have because they would have had 3 or 4.
Oh yeah, those Italians, man, they got the suits and ties over there, boy. So,
Oh, I can imagine the cappuccino and the full 8-hour negotiation.
a 2-hour lunch.
And the hot chick coming in to bring coffee and tea just to get you distracted.
Oh yeah, and then the offices were immaculate, and then the factories.
Marble.
Yeah, and the factories were like just spotless.
Yes.
It's like I always walked away from the shops in Italy, the factories in Italy, just going, wow,
Oh, that's beautiful.
man, they really overdo it there.
Yeah. Well, Clint, hygienics, that's a neat thing. I thought maybe the German factories would be like that. I suppose they are.
Yeah,
In some way,
I've never
too,
been in a
but-
German factory, but these Italian ski boot companies,
Yeah.
holy cow, they were something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Was that a good time going around to those kind of businesses and
Yeah.
talking at that level?
I liked when I was going over to Italy to get boots made and stuff. It was really a cool part of Italy up in the Alps, and
Yeah.
and they're all like in little towns, and Yeah, I got to see a lot back in the day. Traveling around, going up to Montreal, talking to the big guys up in Montreal.
Would you get dressed up? Like, what was your wardrobe when you go to, Italy or go to Montreal? What were you wearing?
Yeah, I did get dressed up. I always like to wear maybe a nice soccer top with a suit coat on, or try to keep a little sporty.
A little sporty. I love that.
Something different.
Right.
A tie underneath the jersey top and. So, but I don't have any suit and ties anymore, though.
Yeah, that's great. I know. I'm with you. I haven't worn a tie, and even to a wedding, I haven't worn a tie in a dozen years. I'm thinking. How about you?
Huh. Yeah, it's been a long time. Long time, yeah. But don't you have to wear one for work?
No, thank God. We're a business casual. We're a business casual culture.
Good for you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I venture out now. I'm a big sarong guy, so I just had a custom-made sarong for dress.
Sarong? Tell us about sarong. What's it?
Sarong is one of the most common garments worn by people around the world. It looks, people joke that I'm wearing a skirt. So it's just kind of a wraparound towel.
Yeah.
But
nice.
it's you know how nice it is to walk around in a towel.
Right.
But now it's a little more formal than a towel.
Right. And what's the optimal sarong? What's the optimal temperature for your sarong like to be walking around?
It depends. I usually wear it in the summer because I don't like to wear anything underneath it. And
you're nuded up underneath?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
That's the beauty of it.
I like it.
Yeah. You don't know about a sarong?
Well, no, I don't. Where do you put your phone?
Well, that's why I finally had one custom made the other day, because I've always got my sarong, but I've got no place for my phone,
right,
or my fob for my car.
Yeah.
So it's always been kind of a hassle.
Yeah.
But I still make it work because I love wearing the sarong.
Yeah.
And I tell you, it takes a lot of balls to wear a sarong into a bar.
I can imagine. That's great.
Yeah.
Do you get it looked at or?
Oh yeah, I mean but at the same time, it can work in your favor because a lot of the gals like them.
It's a conversation starter.
Oh my God! Like I said, you gotta have a lot of confidence to walk in to a bar wearing a sarong.
Okay, that could
Try
be.
it sometime.
Okay, we will. This is we're gonna do the sarong challenge here on Sauna Talk.
But,
we need 10 people to wear a sarong into a bar and report back. And then the top three, I'll send a nice mug kit. The new innovation. What do you got to throw into the mix for the top three? You got anything in the Scott Olson warehouse?
I got some blades. I've got some penguins.
Would you throw in a pair of rollerblades or a penguin to the
Maybe
prize?
A penguin.
Okay, a penguin. Okay, so you're
penguins are hot though.
Okay, they're not in production.
I got some inventory.
Okay.
Not much.
Would you throw 3 in if we put a contest together? Yeah. Okay, all right. So the way let's develop the contest. The way it is the first 10 people to go into a bar in a sarong are eligible.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'll you keep defining the
All right, if there's any further rules, we'll put it on the show notes. But all right, and then the first 3, we'll send them a penguin and a nice mug kit.
There you go. I'll back that.
Okay.
I'll back that.
Okay. So Skyride. All right. So there is a place I want to go back when you reach the marketing stage with Rollerblade. That had to be looking uphill at a mountain. I mean, the work once you developed it and you had that scene you were telling me with the hockey teams endorsing it and then struggling for the sales, to try to connect the dots now, that marketing mountain.
Yeah.
That was a big one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. But it was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't look at it as being climbing a mountain. Of course, I climb a lot of mountains. I don't think it's that hard, but of course, I haven't climbed the big mountains. Right. But I do climb.
So it was a nice hike, the marketing phase.
Yeah. I like that part of it too.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah. I like the marketing. It's interesting. You learn a lot about people. You learn a lot about your product.
Yeah.
And you meet some great people.
Right.
In the meantime.
Amen.
So.
And that's weird. And you get to travel a bit on your terms.
Oh yeah, I got to meet Springsteen. I got to meet Gretzky. I got to meet Kennedy.
Wow.
So I've met some really, those are the celebrities. But I met a lot of great people that,
that aren't celebrities, but are just great people because they're in a field where they're doing their art. They're exercising their art, and when people are exercising their art, they're great people. They're great to be around.
Oh yeah. It's been really fun to
like Sauna Talk. I'm having a great time with you. I'm exercising my art. I mean, we're taking a sauna with you. I love innovation, and you've been a mentor to me when I got to know you and go out to the farm, and how my now 17-year-old sees you. How when kids come out to the farm and see what you got going, your prototypes, your Skyride, the 1.0. I don't know if you call it that, but it is like, explain how kids react to the farm, your farm where you live.
Mm-hmm. That reminds me, I got to call back a teacher tomorrow because I get a lot of calls from educators that want to bring their kids out, and as much as I'd rather not deal with it at times because I just don't, for many reasons. I have to do it because one of the things I love to do is I love to promote the whole entrepreneurial movement.
Yes.
And the whole inventing and then the whole, the culture of fitness is a big part of me and what goes on at the farm. So I love promoting that. So I really like to, once I finally get them out there, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
I just hate to make a commitment.
I know. You're cornered at that time.
Yeah.
And that's a big commitment. The school bus is going to show up.
Yeah. So
and you got to be in the right frame of mind.
Yeah. And so it's, but I need to keep doing that as much as I like to be more of an individual and a loner as the older I get.
Yeah.
But once it starts happening, I really get into it.
Yeah.
And I love the kids because a lot of the kids, just the energy they've got, and it's just fun to see what they're made of these days.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to create layers and stuff, but I gotta, I'm thinking that maybe there'd be like someone like a coordinator that could work with you, and if you're not on an up day or you get called away, the coordinator can do the tour. And you can step in and be there when you want to be on or when you can be on, and that way, then you don't have to get in the coordinating. Like when these teachers call and they want in and all that. If you had someone that handled that, and then they could be your buffer, maybe. I don't know. Just a thought.
That's a great idea. That's in fact the one teacher that wants to come out that I haven't done a very good job of following up on. He's actually pursued my coworker. And pitch that exact same deal.
That's cool. That he wants to be that person.
He wanted my coworker to just be there to show the farm,
to ease you from the burden of having to do the So this is a nice guy now because he's thinking for you.
Yeah.
He's trying to find a solution that makes you comfortable.
He reminds me a lot of you.
Is that right?
Yeah, he really. Clark. He's he kind of looks like you too, he's got the right idea because and that's kind of how I am too. It's like I don't want to use me to promote it. I want my product to be the star. Yeah. Anybody could sell it. Yeah. So that's how I look at the blades, how I looked at it, or the row bike, now the Skyride. Is it's all about that.
Yeah. Not you.
You're right. Nice. So and then that's how my farm is. I mean, people come out, and it's just such a cool place. With the wildlife and the barn and the ideas that are around. Yes. So it really should be more about that.
Yes, and bringing the kid element back into it. Seeing it through these kids' eyes. I'm talking, I don't know, pick an age, 10, 12.
Well, these kids, these are high school kids coming out.
Okay, 16, 17?
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so I'll ask you this question then. You've had kids of all ages out to the farm. What do you think is the best age for a kid to see the farm?
Oh, I think much like my philosophy, it's every age.
Okay, you answer like hockey players answer questions. You must have been one. Yeah, we're working on defense and clogging up the neutral zone. I mean, you could say 5 things and they all sound good.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it brings a smile to your face and you can walk away feeling that it really was worth the trip.
It's any age.
Yeah, because sometimes a kid might be, it might be a young kid that you think would get a lot out of it, isn't into it.
Yeah,
So,
interesting.
yeah,
Maybe
you
he's
just never
thinking
know.
about a girl that didn't make the tour and what's
Yeah.
she doing if she's hanging around with somebody.
Yeah.
Remember how the busy mind is at that age was so. I mean, if we could just focus back then, we could have done some great things as a teenager.
Oh, yeah.
Any teenager, if they can just focus.
Oh, yeah, that was always my goal. Always thinking about never ever desiring a female. How much
Let her
more
get in
time-
your head like that.
How much more time you'd have to invent.
I got good grades in college, but I probably could have gotten a second major if I left the thinking about women and.
Yeah, no, that's very distracting.
Yeah, very distracting. That's a good one. Okay, so we've caught up that the marketing thing, and now Skyride. Do you want
You
to?
go pop in?
Let's do a hot round. But hey, before we go in, let's. Should we bring the mic in or
Let's
chit
keep
chat
it
out
going.
here?
Let's-
All right, bring it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay, so what I wanted to chat on is what about Skyride? And what a great introduction. I mean, as last we left Skyride, we were on the point of it taking a bit of time from like the idea stage 20 years ago, and not like this is a bad thing at all, but it's a long product development life cycle is what you're into. But the cool thing, and I'm jumping way forward, jump into this chronology at any point, Scott, but you're shipping.
Yeah.
You sold product. Like you said out there in the changing room, you're the kind of guy that you bring things to market, and you've done it with Skyride. Not an easy sell, an expensive product.
Yeah.
I mean, the sales cycle, sales cycle from the first pitch to here's an order,
Yeah.
long.
That was like,
It's like selling an oil well or something.
it's 3 years.
It's from when you first say, hey,
For when Carnival, we're talking the Carnival cruise right now, they came into the farm, 3.5 years, maybe longer, but it was a long cycle.
okay, so 3 years ago, how many people came to the farm?
I think there was about 2 or 3 people flew up from Miami, but I don't know because I wasn't there. I was leaving the driveway when they were coming up the driveway.
No way. Where were you off to?
I wanted nothing to do with the sales pitch because I was not happy with the product at the time.
Okay.
But my guy that who you've met, he convinced me that he thinks he could do a good job selling it. And it's like, okay, tell me more. Even though I'd like to have him come in another 6 months.
Yeah.
He said, no, let's do it now. So I went with it. And I said, okay, well, I want nothing to do with it.
Right.
Because the last thing I wanted to see is somebody ride my ride and it wasn't working good.
Oh, what? I mean, hey, that is clever.
Yeah.
I read this one interjection. So I just finished this book, Ryan Holiday, Ego is the Enemy, and that book is taking me a little while to process. But what you did is you suppressed your ego on that deal. You driving out when they're driving in. I mean, you did not need to be the guy because you didn't believe it was the right thing at the time. So it's kind of like Dylan, like he's totally silent about this award he got.
He's still silent?
I think so.
Yeah.
But sometimes silence is your best play.
Yeah, I think it works in my favor a lot of times. But that time it worked out, and the entrepreneurial gods made it work.
Yeah.
And it was a prototype.
Yeah.
And to think that Carnival, would jump into bed and do a contract with us to build a production engineered product on their ship. We pulled it off.
You pulled it off. That is a remarkable sale.
Yeah, it really so it's been a big feather in our caps. Everybody that's been involved in it, and particularly me, because I've been through so much to get it to where it's at, with all the different people that have come and gone, and
And you collected a check.
we definitely got paid, and we actually made a little bit of money. I was hoping we'd make. It was about a $1.8 million sale, so I was hoping to make a little bit more, but in the end was just a few months ago that we finally got all the payments and then figured out everything. That I was just really happy I didn't lose money.
Yes. That's a great lesson, and I'll parlay that with Nice Mug, and there you go. There's so much that could be said about that, what Scott just said. A lot of people get into this, and it's all about GP, gross profit. That first order is monumental.
Yeah.
And if you can get even on that first order, you don't tell them but you got to meet like halfway, and you got to, If you're trying to make a lot of money on your first order, I think you got the wrong attitude.
Well, that's true. And luckily I'm not motivated by the money. Making a lot of money, I don't really want to lose a lot more money.
Right.
So I'm kind of motivated that way, but well, I guess it's all relative.
It is.
But at the same time, it was a big boost for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Because now, we launched it in May on the Carnival cruise ship over in Barcelona, and May, June, July, August. How many months have we been on there? Like 5 months?
Yeah.
And we've had 100,000 riders on it.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's been the biggest hit on a Carnival cruise ship. So, as simple an idea as it is, having a bike ride around on a track, people are loving it.
Oh, that just warms my heart that your first sale is a successful sale. So now the company's in a new place. Once you ship your first order and the users are happy, you're like kind of in a sweet spot.
Yeah. That the idea that we were able to engineer it successfully on a ship has given us the confidence that we can engineer this track to go anywhere now. Because it was a really big deal to get that thing to work on the ship, and then with the idea that they're going to put it on another ship,
right on,
which was kind of the next plateau. They get it's one thing getting one order, but can you get another one?
Yes.
And but the Carnival Cruise application is kind of a special deal, only because and that's not the right word, but because it's a ship and people aren't paying for it.
Yeah.
The truth
it's baked into the cake of the
it's an amenity.
Amenity, right?
And so that's
like health club with no admission fee. You can get on the bike anytime you want.
Yeah. So that's cool.
That's good though.
It's been really good for us.
The model may in fact be different if you're in an amusement park or something. That's a pay to use model.
Well, and that's a true test of a successful product.
Yeah, and if the thing can create revenue enough to pay off the fixed cost to put it on site, that's a different business model, isn't it?
Totally different. And that's how many cruise ships can we have a successful business of putting them on Carnival cruise ships? Well, if they put one in every other year, and we make $500,000 on an install.
Yeah, right on.
I'd be happy with that.
That's a business.
That'd be a business because we don't need a lot of guys to run it.
Yeah. There's that music producer. He's done Rick Rubin. He's got a great line. He says, "True art divides the audience."
Oh yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah, that's a great one.
I mean, why does this, and this is, I know that you knew this when you invented Skyride and that you didn't want it for everybody. You knew that there's some barriers to that thing. It's not like rollerblades that anybody can slap one on. There's some barriers to this thing, but it's art, and then if you divide your audience and say, hey, this is a cruise ship amenity, maybe that's enough for a business.
Well, we'll soon see. I mean, it might be enough to start the business.
Yeah.
Because we've already got a bunch of leads from it.
Yes.
Yeah,
and I can imagine some like rich chic kind of guys wanting them in their estate, like private sale.
Yeah.
Off of the high end, trying it on a ship scale.
Oh yeah. Well, if they can think that this thing's going to make them get the body that they see on TV,
Yeah. Okay.
they'll pay anything because it's all.
I thought you were going to say the girl.
Well,
It has some eye candy to the estate.
yeah.
Oh no, really, it's a cash-shaped deal in the private market.
Oh.
It's like, I'm trying to think of the best analogy.
Well, it would be no different than a pool.
Yeah, but a pool everybody can buy. This is like these. If you're fitness and you got money, and you can afford this, it's a great workout, and you're out in nature on your own private estate.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a one point whatever.
Oh, I think that's a market that's actually one of my markets. I think that could be a business.
Yes.
Because
the private home.
You picture like the guy's got the deck that comes out their living room.
Yep.
Sky rides come up
Right to it.
on the deck.
Like, can you imagine that in Colorado?
Yeah, well, it could be anywhere. It could be
Right.
in your backyard. It doesn't
True.
it doesn't need to be a 2-mile long track.
Yeah.
It could be a 200-foot diameter.
Yeah. But if you have a nice estate, like I'm thinking of my buddy who's got maybe he's in up north of Spooner there, a 25 acre.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that have like 20 acres or 5 acres even.
Oh yeah. You don't need much.
Think of that. Think of that. There's a lot of people that have that kind of land, and those are the people that would have the kind of coin.
Right.
I mean, 5 acres would be awesome, wouldn't it?
Well, 5 acres would be more than you need, because I'm a big advocate. Wait till you come out and try the new ride, the Sky Ride, the Carnival Sky Ride. It's on a track that's a 30-foot diameter.
Oh, a tighter footprint.
Oh, totally tight, and everybody thinks that's the best track I've got.
Oh, from a fitness perspective.
Yeah, the excitement part of it. Yeah. And the fitness.
How much more expensive would it be to have the track you're talking about? Like, what do you? Okay, for that, how much for the home user?
For the home user, they could get by for $100,000.
No way.
Yeah.
All in?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so $100,000. Okay, how much for an extra loop, like through, like the leisure loop? How about that?
Well,
Can you engineer a leisure loop off of the tight
Oh
loop?
yeah. That's the change lane.
Okay, so a change link and a leisure loop, like around an acre of the property, like for the for a leisure ride for the
figure a couple $100 a foot for 2 lanes. If you want to have 2 lanes, $100 a foot if it's 1 lane.
So maybe an extra $250,000.
Yeah.
So you could have a kick-ass setup for maybe $350,000.
You could have a great setup for $350,000, and then less than that. And then the way I pitch my stuff is like, no, just start out with the small one.
Yes, and we'll build to the next.
We can add on.
Yeah, yes, when we prove ourselves.
But 2 lanes though.
Yeah.
Because then you can come out and you can invite your buddy out, and you got like the Ferrari or the Tesla fitness.
Yeah, the Tesla. That's a tagline. Have you thought of that one?
Yeah, Tesla fitness, because now you got a fitness machine that's going 30 miles an hour.
Wow, beautiful.
It's
silent like a Tesla.
Yeah, it's faster than your bike.
Yeah.
And then you got a lane next to you, so you got your partner, and you're feeding off one another.
This show is brought to you by Dean's Kombucha. Fermented in specially charred oak barrels and utilizing whole fruits and herbs for flavoring, Dean's Kombucha is crisp, light, and full of probiotics, enzymes, and acids for your health and vitality. It's a great post-workout beverage and great for post-sauna. If you're in Minneapolis, you can enjoy Dean's on tap at East Lake Craft Brewery, Midtown Global Market,
a wedge table, a Nicollet, and Quixotic coffee in St. Paul. But here's the thing. Kombucha and sauna are tied in real tight. It goes way back, generations, centuries.
The ice boating.
We're here with Scott Olson, inventor, into recreation and nature. And Scott, one of the things you're into is ice boating. Ice boating. Do you own an ice boat?
Oh, I think I'm lucky enough to own one of the nicest ice boats made, called the Knight, N-I-T-E.
A Knight.
Holds 2 people.
Okay.
So you can come out for a ride sometime.
Right on. And what you're looking for is ice, no snow.
Safe ice, no snow.
And it's interesting. You talk about this global warming thing and all that. I mean, when I first moved to Minnesota, you could bank on. And Kurt Hansen and I talk about this all the time. Like, the trick is Grass Lake right over here freezes quick. It's only 2-3 feet deep, so you can get like a late November, like 4-inch ice skate in those pond lakes, right?
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
And out west, do you have any lakes by the farm that freeze early, and you ever lace up and go there?
Definitely, yeah. That's what I like about my boat. It's somewhat portable. So definitely, you can get, 2 weeks in.
Yeah, but the shallow lakes help, right?
Oh, yeah, they definitely freeze quicker.
What's one of your you don't have to reveal it or whatever, but what's one of your go-to lakes that you can get good ice?
Swede.
Yeah,
it's a really big windsurfing lake.
Yeah.
Ice boating lake. Not windsurfing.
Right.
But
so what's another sport? You call it ice boating.
Yeah. What's
another sport that isn't I would say that's not a popular sport. What's another non-popular sport that you're
one
into?
I've gotten into recently has been fat biking.
Yes. Well, that's getting really vogue, isn't it?
Well, I tell you, there's a reason for it, but there's nothing better than jumping on that bike and cruising through Theater Worth at night. Well, which could be 6 o'clock at night in the winter.
With snow.
Yeah, with snow.
Yeah. And you're wearing that LED light, right?
Oh, yeah. Big light. The whole gear.
The whole gear. Your goggles.
Depends how cold it is. Yeah. But, 5 years ago when I'd be skiing in there, it was like, why would you want to be biking when you could be skiing?
Classic or skate?
I'm a skater.
Scenario. Yeah, so you'd be skating and you see this guy cruising by on a Surly bike.
Yeah, fat bike.
A fat bike, and you'd be like, what's up with this guy?
Yeah, it was really, and then you start seeing more and more of them, but they got their own trail.
Right.
So you'll see them for a flash, and then they're gone.
Yeah.
They're not on the ski trail.
Yeah, they're symbiotic. They work together. And by the way, we got to talk about the Lopet before it's all over with that whole Theater Worth thing and this capital campaign for the chalet.
Oh, yeah.
And they're including the mountain bikers and the fat tire bikers. And I credit the Lopet Foundation because it's not just skiing. As great as winter skiing is, and their mission about getting kids, even like urban kids. It's a Minneapolis thing. Let's get them out in the winter time.
Well, that's why they got a tow rope out there for the kids just to tube.
Yeah.
Or snowboard, but
but it's an important thing for health and wellness.
Well, obviously it's important, but at the same time, it's such an underutilized space.
Yes,
when you think of it.
Right on. But the Lopet's changing that, and and I can speak out of school. This is Sauna Talk. This is my podcast. This is my political opinion. May make an enemy. I don't care. The deal is what the Lopet had to overcome is a lot of old school thinking in the park board, and golf is king. And I like golf, and I like the fact that there's golf, but people got really pissy when they're talking about skiing on the par 3. I mean, that's what the Lopet had to start with, is even getting access to the golf in wintertime.
Yeah.
With snow on it.
And nobody was playing golf.
Nobody's playing golf, and no one would give them access. They had to fight that battle first.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
That doesn't surprise me, but thankfully they stuck it out. And who
was
that guy?
Well, John Munger.
Yeah.
You know John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was the
leader.
Pioneer.
He was a pioneer.
Yeah.
Number
one.
Yeah,
You
the
remember
guy,
that?
and he stuck it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't one of these guys that came in and gave it 2 years and ran out of gas.
Yeah.
He's stuck it out, and he's kept the high road.
He's got the name.
He's got
A
the
lot,
name.
a lot of tradition there.
Yeah.
You know, Munger Trail.
That's right. All right, we talked
See it
about
all
that.
the time.
He'd be good to get on. Oh, but here's the first thing we got to do is we're going to add to that
Get him
capital.
over now or
Right.
next.
No, he's on my team. I love John.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, we're going to talk about Nice Mug in the Lopit in a minute.
Uh-huh.
Real quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
But anyway,
go for it.
finishing up, what about a kick-ass wood-burning sauna as part of the capital campaign for that chalet at Theodore Worth? So when you're done skiing or when you're done fat tire biking, you could go in there and get a nice sweat.
God, that's not a bad idea.
Okay, we'll start that one.
No, it's got to be there. We got to get
Capital campaign.
Nestle needs to
Right,
fund
so-
that.
All right, I'll give the hot cocoa.
Nestle,
I'll
yeah,
give-
well, that's
there's a
something.
start, right?
Yeah, no, somebody should blue chip that.
Yeah.
Is there a Finnish company based in here?
Yeah, okay, I love the collaborating. We need another beer for writing down a list of 6 things, but that's a great idea.
Yeah.
How about, I was thinking about Wurzbo. I don't know if they're still headquartered here, but that was a sweet, the pipe, that red piping for radiant heat.
Well,
but doesn't matter.
No,
right?
it could be. You could.
How about Volvo? But that's
3M
Swedish.
could do it.
So we're having a sauna here with Scott Olson, and just a great night here. Late October 2016. Scott came over in his row bike with his LED lights, yelling up and down the alley, by the way. Yo, Glenn. I thought I was in my office. I thought I heard something. I knew something was out of whack. I came out. He was lost biking up and down the alley. So we've had great sauna rounds, and Scott, just a really great time tonight. But I want to ask you just a couple. I got 5 quick rapid fire questions that relates to sauna. Okay, if you could have a kick-ass mobile sauna and bring it anywhere in the world and take a sauna, where would you choose?
I'd make it float, and I'd have it on Lake Calhoun in the middle lake for like a week straight.
And then, would you invite your friends, or would it be open for anybody?
Anybody that wanted to paddle all the way out to the middle of the lake.
Right on. Okay. Can I tell you something kind of wild? I had a guest on Sauna Talk, and you know what his answer to this question was? The same answer, but he says Cedar Lake. So there you go. Isn't that like crazy karma?
Wow, actually floating?
Yeah. And we joked about it, in that the filter is that you have to swim out or you take a vessel to get to it. So there's a filter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
Alex Goldfarb by name. Check it out on Sauna Talk. So that was his answer too. What a cool thing. So we could do that. We could put that into the project that maybe we were just speaking about.
Oh, we gotta get one that floats.
Okay,
Well,
we can do
the one that you're making that's portable will just roll onto a.
Yeah, I was on a floating sauna with Grant out near you. We'll go see his floating sauna.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, he built one, and it's great. So we can do that. I love your answer.
Okay.
Yeah,
next
man.
one, please.
Okay, next one. Number 2. If you could arrange a sauna session with one other person, anyone in the world, dead or alive, who would you choose? And you can say pass, because I got 3 more.
Oh, anybody I want to be with in a sauna. Oh.
Dead or alive?
Oh, can you go to the next one and
Sure.
answer that one
We'll
later?
swing back. Yeah. Okay. What phase of the sauna process do you most enjoy, and why? And keep in mind that this could be. Well, today is an example. You knew you were going to be taking a sauna tonight. We've even had that answer. Like, I love the morning of when I'm going to take a sauna, and then but the whole sauna process. Like, is there a moment that you enjoy the most?
I enjoyed thinking about it today.
Yeah.
I did think about it, and then I really enjoyed the ride over here, and then to see you, I enjoyed that very much, and then I guess I like jumping in and out.
Yeah. You like the rounds.
I like getting in and out, and
I've noticed that you're.
And the hose was great. That was almost as good as a lake. Almost.
Yeah, I know. We try to replicate that. This is
But
up
it's
north.
easy. So getting a lake, if
Yeah.
you can't get out of it comfortably, that's a pain
It
too.
is a pain, I know.
So,
and
but-
a lot of cabin saunas, it's a trek to get into the lake because there's setback requirements and this
Yeah.
and that. But right outside the hot room here, it's a simple garden hose. All you got to do is go on Sauna Times and just search garden hose outdoor shower. It's a super simple system. I know a lot of listeners here that have their own saunas. It's in my ebook. Just a great cool down method. You shower up, right, Scotty?
Well, the only way you could beat that garden hose right now is if it was a fire hose.
Okay, that's a great one.
Other than that, it was pretty damn good.
Yeah, right on.
And then how we're drying off now
Yeah.
is nice. It isn't like because we open the door.
Yeah.
We're in the sauna.
Yeah.
And the temperature's cooling down where it's
Right.
really comfortable, and I'm dry, but
Yeah,
I'm very comfortable.
Scott applied something I don't typically do. He tossed a shitload of water on the rocks, and we were opening the hot room door, and we've created like this Florida vibe. It's quite humid, it's warm, but it's not hot.
And we're able to go into the other room and back.
Yeah. The room is open, so your changing room becomes integrated to your hot room in a post sauna environment. It's especially wonderful in winter when you can temper it even further by cracking the door from the change room to the outside, and you can blend heat, humidity, cool, fresh air. It's a virtue for living in our climate, and that's why a lot of Canadians are into sauna too. Of course, people are. It's like hockey, in your day there was nobody from California, Arizona, or whatever into hockey, right?
Oh yeah, right.
Right. But
There's
sauna is getting popular, but the cold climate's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, you gonna say something?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you're thinking about somebody, all right, and then we're gonna come back to that one, and then tell us about your typical sauna routine. We kind of lived it. You like little quicker rounds. Back forth. Like, how many rounds is good for you?
Depends how much time I have.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, I think, we've spent a lot of time in the sauna.
This has been a long sauna, but...
It's been a great session.
Yeah, really
I really enjoyed it.
Me too.
Yeah.
And,
Very nice.
I told Scott off
Very,
microphone.
very nice.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I told Scott off my microphone that, honest to God, I was thinking about this podcast, Sauna Talk, and he was right on the top of the list on my short list. And I've done this thing. I hope you guys are still with us, but I've done this thing methodically, and I brought people into the community of sauna. And Scott and I met in a sauna. I know he's a big appreciator of health and wellness and innovativeness. Like that's a common thing. What we do, a lot of people listening have built their own saunas. And this DIY ethos, it's a thing that really impressed me when I first met Scott and went out to his farm. I mean, he's got welding material, and I just love an inventor who just rolls their sleeves up and makes things. And I think that's what we've done here with our saunas, right? We've made these saunas ourselves. We're not afraid to build, to be different, and build something that is the first thing on the block. So.
I've been telling you for years we got to get one of these things on pontoons.
Yeah, that's right. The floating sauna is a Scott Olson thought, and this does date back at least 15 years.
Oh, it got to be on the. I'd like to have mine when I build mine, but better yet, it does what yours is gonna do.
Yeah, I know.
You're gonna
On the
follow it
ice,
along.
I
Yeah.
know. It's going to be great, and I can't wait for you guys to see this sauna that we're going to be building. It's 8x20. It's on a fish house chassis.
Where's it being built at?
We're going to build it like 6 blocks away at JP's driveway.
Huh.
The shell is being done by an ice fish house company, and they're.
I'd like to see the plans of that.
Yeah, man. Okay, I got them on my computer. Do you like email?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the other question, Scotty, is what one thing about sauna do you think is misunderstood that you'd like others to know?
Oh, that maybe you might have to have one at the cabin, where you could just have one in your home.
Yeah.
Any home.
Right. Or how about this up north backyard retreat where we're hanging out in tonight? I mean, this is your cake and eat it too. I designed all this to remind me of my cabin sauna, and I borrowed all the good. And what a magical thing it is on a winter's night just to walk 12 steps out your backyard and you can have a feel like you're up north.
Oh yeah. Well, anything to get the feel.
Yeah.
Anything to get the feeling, just like you put music on, you know.
Yeah.
You get whatever you got to do to get to that feeling that you really makes you joyful.
And I love your answer, because I think that is something that's misunderstood about sauna in certain places, is that it is a cabin thing. That's a very Minnesota answer. You know, the interesting thing is it is getting into, you know, this infrared is like a real mixed sauna, you know, and they can sell those, and people put them in their Chicago apartments in their living room and step in there, a little box kind of a deal. So
yeah,
so I would say what your thing is actually happening. You know, people are bringing sauna to other places besides cabins.
Yeah, because it should be a weekly, if not every other day.
Every other day. I'm a 3-time-a-week sauna guy.
I'd be interested to see what it would do to you taking one that frequently.
Yeah, well, I've been doing it for 30 years. If anyone wants to test me.
Shit, man, yeah, you look great.
Well, thanks. I feel pretty good. You know, I'll tell you, I had meniscus tear surgery a month ago. And I'm just now getting back on my feet.
You rehabbing?
Well, you know, it was more than I bargained for. The recovery, I thought, you know, everybody makes it out to be like, oh, they knock you out for 3-4 hours, for 15, 20 minutes. You're walking the same day. I'm like, sign me up. But anyway, it's taken me a month. I just got back on the bike.
Yeah. Well, just stick with the therapy.
Yeah.
Do the therapy.
Right on.
You got to be really on that.
Yeah.
That's got to be on your hit list every day.
Right on.
Whatever it may be.
Yeah. And it's going good. But thanks.
Good,
But it's taken me longer than I thought. And what a gorgeous month we've had. And I was staring at it instead of doing what you were probably doing. What have you done this month besides road bike, exercise?
Well, you see my shoulder?
Yeah, what's that
I messed
about?
that up, so I've been out of commission for a couple months.
Okay. Misery loves company. I'm sorry to hear, but you're still biking.
Oh, yeah. I'm back. I'm going full swing now. Rolling.
Yeah.
Roll biking.
Yeah. Is it helping the shoulder at all?
Well, I had just gotten... oh, yeah. I think it'll be great. But I've been out blading and running. And
Yeah. Well, you look good too, man. But you know, you in fitness are like, that's your passion, and I think it's wonderful. I was going to tell you one more thing before I forgot. Is did you know Kurt Hansen's dad, and you know all the shit, George, all the things he invented for the handicapped kids?
Oh, really?
Yeah, he just passed away like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, nice guy.
Yeah.
81, 82.
Oh, young guy too.
But similar to you in that, you know,
I remember Kurt telling me about that.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Right on. So in your life, the last question is taking a sauna with someone, you know, maybe like someone in your family, or you know that you didn't
Probably
get to know.
An old girlfriend. One of my old girlfriends that I was really turned on to and loved being with. I mean,
and revisit that.
Yeah.
In a sauna.
Definitely. Well, that was the question. Yeah. It'd be nice to be hot, warm, with a sexy girl.
Okay, what a great answer, Scott.
And what better girl is one that you've already been with?
That
you know everything about it. You know, and you can just bring it in and get there.
Right. It's a short tour. Get you right into the program.
Well, you didn't say like for a week. You said once, right?
Well, a sauna session ain't gonna last a week. So.
Well, it could last a week, because you could, if you're like interviewing a gal to be a part of this fantasy, you'd have to say this is going to be a week-long thing we get together like 3 times.
Yeah, and I'll put the stove on idle.
Because she's got to commit.
Okay, that's great, Scott.
And whatever comes from it.
Yeah,
She doesn't have to.
But it's your answer to the question, and there is no right answer, and I really respect the answer. Put it that way. Well, listen, we're going to sign off here, and God, if you stayed with us for this episode of Sauna Talk, there is a bounty out there. If you wear one of those sarongs into a bar, take a picture and send it to me, saunatimes@gmail.com. The first, we're looking for 10, and the first 3, you're going to get a penguin and a nice mug kit.
Plastic penguin, not a live penguin.
Okay.
I can't give my live ones away yet.
There you go. Well, yeah. All right. So Scotty's lacing up. He's got his neon gear and the
rain gear because it's raining.
Yeah, and he's not afraid because he's on a road bike. Very stable. in wet conditions.
Full body, man. It's the world's greatest. I'm not trying to sell you, but it really is the world's greatest fitness machine.
If someone wanted one, how much are they, Scott?
I don't know. I don't sell them anymore, but you go to robike.com.
Right. Can you order there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Sweet.
they ship them direct, but if you don't buy a row bike, get into rowing and do it, get it into your workout program because it's such a wonderful stretch.
Yeah.
It's life maintenance, health maintenance, rowing.
Right.
Just that movement.
And row bike applies that movement into nature, on the bike trails.
Totally. It's a rowing machine on a bike. It's phenomenal.
Yeah. Scott Olson, Minneapolis.
Love you guys.
Thinker, inventor.
Thanks, Glenn.
Cheers. Great to see you, Scott.
Let's do it again.